Let's talk about Opie. How's your relationship with Opie? Greg Hughes, your co-host of 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
How's your relationship today?
We don't talk much now. I think we both needed kind of a break from each other. 20 years is a long time to spend every day with somebody. And early on in our careers, I mean, we're both there looking at the same goal. We wanted to be a giant, successful radio show. And that was our vision. And we had a lot in common because that was the biggest thing in our lives at the time. That's what we wanted to do. As we did become successful and got older, I think we grew into different lives which weren't that similar. He got married, had some kids and stuff, and was doing fantastically. And I decided not to do that. And I like you said, I like it to be a little off balance and unpredictable.
And I said that earlier, and this relationship you had with Opie seems to reside on that same knife's edge.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard the blow-ups. There's a segment, when was this, in 2009 maybe, where literally it sounds like your show is over on the air. You guys are breaking up in front of the listener.
Yes.
He's saying things like, I think it's just time. We've grown apart. We don't like each other's idiosyncrasies anymore.
Yeah.
So let's ride and you say at one point, so let's ride this contract out and sayonara. I mean, but it wasn't the end.
No. And again, I can't think of any relationship that goes that long without having some kind of blowout every so often where it seems like it's the end. I'm sure couples that have been married for 50 years have had arguments where it's like, oh, they're getting divorced. That's
well,
it.
That's
it's
a good
over.
point, except the show was predicated on like this chummy, friendly camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
It was predicated around the concept of having fun. I mean, how often were you having fun every day?
Well, every day. It
all
was
the way
a lot
through
of
to
fun.
the end. You were having fun every day.
Well, there were some days that were not much fun, and there were some days where we were having a dispute and we just rode through it on the show, and you'd never know it. It wasn't often. I'll tell you that. We had a great on-air relationship. Off-air, it wasn't bad, but it kind of grew to the point where we never really hung out very much off the air.
Originally you did?
Yeah, originally we did. Again, we had that common goal to do something. That was our camaraderie at the beginning. And then as we got older and realized we wanted different things in our personal lives, we still had that common goal as wanting the show to be really good and successful, but our other goals in life kind of went in different directions. So to hang out off the air didn't really happen that much.
The show was you, Opie, and Jim Norton.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Opie and Jim were there for you in a way you wanted when you were fired?
I never really spoke to Opie about that. I know he didn't want me fired. I know that much. Jimmy didn't either. I mean, I've spoken to him about it. But I think,
Did they go to the mats for you in a way you wanted?
I think they were put in a very bad position where they did go to the bosses, go to this, but there was really nothing they could do. And I'm not sure that leaving their gig would have been the best thing that they could have done.